Well, it's day 4 of World's Group Stage with coverage brought to you by Alienware. I'm joined right now by Jensen, the match MVP after their game against G2. Did you know you got MVP? Or player of the game?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that means anything, but that's great.
It's the Oppo player of the game. They don't sponsor this interview, but I guess they sponsor it, so I'll give them the full title.
Perfect.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to say I was confident the whole time after this week that you guys were going to shut out G2. Obviously, this was going to be the way it was going to go, but some NA fans
Of course.
they were a little concerned after those first 2 games.
Yeah, only the NA fans, not Travis.
Not me.
Full faith.
I mean, I saw all those Reddit threads about how the celebrity culture of LA is distracting pro players from being able to reach their full potential, and I was confident. But
yes, of course.
anyway,
that makes sense.
So what did happen? Because it felt as though there was a change of mentality where all of a sudden it seems like this TL was much more proactive. You guys were playing very aggressive from the beginning. That level 1, Brox seemed to be spending a ton of time in their jungle. So was there like a big conversation at some point in time? It's like, screw it, let's just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Like, we had a talk that the way we're playing is just not gonna work. We can't just forfeit every objective, every camp, like everything, like we were just. So I think part of the problem was we played team comps that were pretty weak early on and required more scaling. And so we had a talk that, like, let's just try to draft more aggressive pick in lanes early on, play more winning matchups, and then, make it to the mid game, make it like to the mid game, even if we get outscaled, like we can still win, right? So we definitely changed our plan a little bit more, and then we had good early game planning. I think that was a big part. Right now at Worlds, early game means so much because every team like invades or does something level 1 that can like get an advantage, right? So you need to be able to respond properly to that, or yeah, pretty much. And we didn't have that in both our games, so we just fell behind. And then when we fell behind, we didn't really know what to do, and we were just kind of like hoping we'd maybe outscale. But yeah, I mean, today we had a good early game and we played more aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, if that fight in the beginning, obviously it's hard to say, but like how much of that fight in the beginning helped set the tempo for the entire game? Because it's the type of thing where, like, as a viewer, if that game or if that fight goes and you guys lose that, I think most people sit back and go, all right, well, NA lost again. So I mean, is it really as critical in those beginning fights as they seem in terms of just sort of setting the tempo?
It is for sure, but at the same time, like, if you think about our loss against Suning yesterday, we fell really far behind early game, but even though we fell behind, we didn't really look for anything. But we should still look for stuff, right? Like, that was a big thing we didn't really do, because in NA, like, we're like, oh, we fall behind 2-3 could go, we'll just farm, like, they'll make a mistake, we'll come back. But here you can't really do that. So I mean, for sure, the early game sets the tempo a lot, and if we get ahead, like, we can do stuff more. But even then, I think we played more aggressive than we normally would. Sorry. We looked for more invades on camps, objectives like turret dives, etc. So I think we just kind of changed our approach a bit more to be more aggressive and willing to fight.
Was today kind of the result of North America getting slapped around for our playstyle? Because if you looked at the stats, we did an episode of Run It where, like, we sent the 3 slowest playing teams out of every region, including the play-in teams, to Worlds. Like, we tend to play very safe. You guys are known to play this slow scaling. So is this like you just couldn't finally get away with it the way you could in North America?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, at least for like us and FlyQuest, we're pretty confident just playing slow scaling. But I thought TSM would have a bigger chance than us just because the way they play is more aggressive. I don't know what their stats are, right, but I know they like draft a lot of like snowball champs, top lane, jungle, like try to snowball like that. So I thought they would be like a bit of an outlier from us and FlyQuest. But yeah, us and FlyQuest, we're definitely like a teams that play very slow if we get behind, or just in general don't look for too many risks. So yeah, we definitely sent at least 2 slow teams that could just get away with whatever we were doing in NA.
So obviously you guys go back after the loss, the second loss of groups, and you have this conversation around like, okay, let's play this more aggressive comp, let's speed things up. But was there any kind of rallying call, like a mentality thing? Did Jack give some big speech? It's like, guys, when I was on Dignitas at one point in time, we were down in this MLG match and we came back. Like, was there any kind of ability for you guys to change or moment where like everybody rallied to change sort of the mentality on the team? Because I'm sure you guys were pretty down after those losses.
I mean, I wouldn't say there was like a big rally like that. I think we just, told each other we should just play with no fear, and if we lose, right? But we need to try. We have to try fighting more and just be willing to go for stuff and help each other more, help each other out more. And yeah, I mean, we just kind of discussed the games, like what we thought went wrong, but I think a lot of it came down to like the drafts also being really hard to play. We had bad read on the meta from planes as well. I think we could, it kind of felt like NA, right? Like
Yes.
we could pick Twitch Rakan and get away with it in planes, but obviously we couldn't do it here. So I think a lot of it just also came down to the drafts being really hard to execute because we had more scaling and weak early game, and the teams, they play fast here. They're really good at punishing and being
Right.
aggressive, so that caught us off guard a bit too much as well.
You think we can, if we see FlyQuest and TSM make these types of adjustments to draft, it'll be much better for North America as a whole?
I'm not really sure because I thought, I haven't really looked into their drafts too much. So I don't really know what their problems are fully, but yeah, I mean, usually when you go to Worlds as an NA team, you have to play catch up and like try to understand what they're doing better than the other than your region, your teams. But I can't really speak for FlyQuest and TSM because honestly, I'm not too sure myself.
We have a lot of NA audience that watches my channel. They might not be aware of the meme around G2 having happy games, but the EU viewers will. And a lot of people might think like, oh, this was a G2 happy game. Having you just played against them, do you feel that way? Do you feel like they were making questionable plays or their draft was a little wonky or zany or anything?
I'm not too sure. I think they just, I mean, the game obviously snowballed early on, right? And they like to play really aggressive in the early game, and we were able to match that. So then maybe it turned into a happy game from that. I'm not really sure. I mean, I think people are criticizing the draft a bit, but they have like a bit of a poke comp and all-in comp. But I thought the draft could work, but they needed to snowball. And since we won early game, then it's hard for them to really come back, I think.
Yeah, maybe just a situation where they were like, it's TL. They're just gonna scale. We'll snowball in the beginning. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it would make sense if they had that approach, right? Because we are really slow and we don't fight a lot early game. So maybe they thought they could just run over us in the early game. But yeah, we fought back in the early game this time.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, you guys are 1-2 after the first round robin. You'll be going into, you'll play, I think, in just, 2 days now? You have very little downtime. Yep. How confident are you that you'll be able to, use the momentum that you have right now and sort of this new play style you guys are unlocking to make sure that you can get out of groups in the 2-day period?
I mean, personally, I feel really confident in my own play, and I think, after today, we should all feel confident. I think we have an idea what works for us now, and we changed our play style a bit. And I think, if we play like we did today, I think we can for sure make it out of groups. But at the same time, our group is very competitive. I think any team can pretty much beat anyone in this group. Coming into it, I think we kind of thought, Machi wasn't the best team.
Yeah.
But I think they've showcased, they beat us and they could compete with G2. And, we knew Suning was really good. We knew G2 was really good. So, yeah, I mean, it's just overall a very competitive group. So we'll see what happens.
Is there anything that you would like to say to any of the NA fans who you've given hope after the win today?
Well, thanks to the few of you guys who believed. Probably wasn't any, but I hope we can, keep doing what we did against G2 because I think we have potential, and I think we just had some really shit games. I think we're definitely better than what we showed against Suning and Machi, and I think we found our footing now, so hopefully we can make you guys proud.
Yeah, very good. Well, looking forward to seeing the second round robin for you, and thank you so much for the interview, and thank you on behalf of NA fans for the win. I'm sure everybody's really excited.
Thank you.
For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things Worlds right here on my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed my coverage of Worlds, that interview, this video, whatever it is you just watched. I'm going to be honest, I'm filming this before World starts. Just seeing a little bit of sun, because I'm not really seeing much of that right now, given the nocturnal situation I'm in to cover Worlds. Anyway, we're doing a lot over here, and my sponsors are supporting it. So if you want to support me, go support my sponsors, Draft Buff, Alienware. Links in the video description below. And by the way, while you're down there, Alienware are doing a giveaway right now. You can win a ton of cool stuff, cool gear at their website, which is alienware.com/Travis. And there's a link in the description below. Travis 10 off Q3 will also save you 10% off your order of some cool Alienware gear. So thank you so much to them.